your cat waits for you to stand up. Not right away a few seconds later, like they're making sure you're really gone. And the moment you are, they're in your seat. You probably laugh it off. Maybe you even joke about it with your friends. My cat thinks she owns the couch. But what if your cat isn't stealing your seat at all? What if they're choosing it for a reason? Not comfort. Not coincidence. A reason that says something about how your cat actually sees you. By the end of this video, you're going to look at that little seat-stealing habit completely differently. So let's get into it. Let's start with the most obvious clue, because it's sitting right there in front of you every single time this happens. Notice how your cat doesn't just sit in your seat. They sink into it. They circle once or twice, drop down, and get comfortable in a way that looks almost relieved, like they've been waiting all day for exactly this moment. That's not random, and it's not just about the warmth. We'll get to warmth later. Right now, let's talk about smell. Here's what most people don't think about. Your cat's sense of smell is far more sensitive than yours. What smells faint or neutral to you can be loud and unmistakable to them. And your seat, the one you sit in every day, is soaked in something they can't get anywhere else on earth. Your scent. Not your perfume. Not your laundry detergent. You. The natural oils from your skin. The subtle chemical signature that's completely unique to your body. To you, that's nothing. You don't even notice it. But to your cat, it's information. It's a signal that says safe. And this is worth pausing on, because it explains a lot of behaviour that otherwise looks strange out of context. Have you ever gone away for a weekend and come back to find your cat unusually clingy, or extra vocal, or glued to your side for the first hour you're home? Part of that is simply missing you. But part of it is also that your scent faded a little while you were gone, and your cat spent that time surrounded by a house that smelled slightly less like safety than usual. The moment you walk back in, that signal comes back online, and so does their sense that everything is okay again. Research on cats and scent has repeatedly shown that familiar smells help cats relax, while unfamiliar smells put them on alert. Cats use scent constantly to figure out what's safe and what isn't. It's one of their primary tools for reading the world, and nothing smells more familiar to your cat than you. Think about how your cat reacts when a stranger visits your home versus when you walk in the door. A stranger gets caution sniffing from a distance, maybe hiding, maybe watching from across the room. You get none of that hesitation because your scent has already been filed away as safe a long time ago. Every object that carries your smell inherits a little of that same trust, and your seat happens to carry more of it than almost anything else in the house. So when your cat curls up in your spot, they're not being annoying, and they're not doing it at you. They're curling up in something that may help them feel secure and familiar, especially in moments when you're not physically there. Think about how a small child will sometimes grab a parent's sweater or pillow when they're anxious, not because the object does anything, but because it smells like the person who makes them feel okay. Your cat is doing the exact same thing, just quieter and a lot less obvious. And here's something worth sitting with for a second. This scent connection isn't a small, isolated behaviour. It actually ties into something much bigger about how your cat experiences their entire relationship with you, something we'll circle back to by the end of this video, because once you understand it, the seat stealing stops looking like a quirky habit and starts looking like something much more meaningful. But scent isn't the only reason your cat wants that spot. There's another thing you leave behind every time you stand up, and it has nothing to do with smell alone. Here's a question worth asking. What if your cat isn't just taking something from you when they sit in your seat? What if they're also leaving something behind? Cats have scent glands in several places on their bodies: their cheeks, their paws, the base of their tail. When a cat sits somewhere, presses their face against something, or needs a surface, they can be depositing their own scent onto it. And in that seat, they're placing their scent directly where yours already lives. This matters more than it sounds like it should. In cat behaviour, scent mixing is considered a meaningful form of social bonding. Cats do this with other cats they trust. They do it with spaces they feel safe in. And when they do it with you, or with things that smell like you, it's generally read as a sign of familiarity and comfort, not possession in the aggressive sense. So that warm little dent you left in the cushion? To your cat, it isn't empty space. It's a spot that already smells like you, and now it can smell like both of you together. This is very likely connected to the same instinct behind your cat rubbing their face against your legs, or head-butting you gently when you walk in the door, a behaviour some people call bunting. Cats aren't randomly affectionate. When they choose to mix their scent with a person or a space, it usually means that person or space has been accepted into their sense of what's familiar and safe. It's worth noticing what your cat does not do this to as well. They're not curling up in just any warm corner of the house, or rubbing their face against every piece of furniture. This kind of scent mixing tends to be selective. It's aimed at specific people, specific spots, specific objects, the ones that have already earned a place in your cat's sense of mine, in the safest possible way. Quick thing before we keep going if you're finding this interesting. Tap like and subscribe so we can keep making videos for people who actually want to understand what their cat is thinking, not just laugh at them. Now here's where a lot of cat content gets it wrong. You've probably seen the theory that cats sit in the boss's seat because they're trying to claim status. Like there's some kind of hierarchy game going on in your living room. It sounds dramatic. It also isn't the most solid explanation, and honestly, it gives your cat's motives more calculation than they probably have. Here's a simpler explanation, and it's one that's much easier to believe once you actually think about it. Your cat watches you, not in a suspicious way just constantly, the way any animal that shares a home with you naturally would, and over time they notice something very consistent. You go to that one seat, again and again, at roughly the same times, doing roughly the same things. Reading, watching TV, scrolling your phone, relaxing after a long day. Repetition is powerful for animals. When something happens in the same place, over and over, that place becomes linked to whatever usually happens there. Your cat isn't thinking this is the throne of the leader of the household. They're thinking something much simpler. This is where good, calm things happen. This is where my person is relaxed and present. That association builds slowly, the same way you might feel instantly more relaxed walking into your own bedroom versus a hotel room you've never stayed in before, even if the furniture is nearly identical. The space itself hasn't changed. What's changed is the meaning it's picked up from repetition. This is also why moving to a new house can be stressful for a cat, even when the new place is objectively nicer. None of the furniture has any history yet. Nothing smells like months of routine. It takes time for a new seat, a new corner, a new windowsill to build up the same kind of meaning your old couch had, and watching a cat slowly claim new spots in a new home is really just watching this same process start over from scratch. Your seat isn't special to your cat because of status. It's special because it's soaked in routine, your routine. Specifically, the one your cat has been quietly watching unfold for months or years. But there's more than just habit going on here. Your cat isn't only reading routine, they're also reading temperature. Touch your seat right after you stand up. It's warm, obviously. But to your cat, that warmth isn't just a nice bonus. It's genuinely useful to them. Cats run warmer than we do. Your body sits around 98.6 F, while a healthy cat's body temperature is typically a couple of degrees higher than that. Because of this, a cat's ideal environmental temperature tends to run warmer than what feels ideal to a human. A room that feels perfectly comfortable to you might feel just slightly cool to them. This is exactly why cats gravitate towards sunny windowsills, warm laptops, freshly dried laundry pulled straight from the dryer, and yes, your seat, still holding on to your body heat. Cats naturally seek out warm places because staying warm helps them feel comfortable and lets their bodies conserve energy instead of burning it just to stay at a good temperature. It's efficient, it's instinctive. It's built into them the same way seeking shade on a hot day is built into a lot of other animals. Your seat, right after you leave it, is warm, familiar, and instantly available. Your cat didn't have to wait for the sun to move across the room or hope a laptop gets left open. You already did the work of warming it for them. From their perspective, that's simply too good to pass up. So while it might look like your cat is playing some little game with you, stealing your spot just to be a nuisance, what's actually happening is much less personal and much more practical. You warmed it. They're not letting that go to waste. There's one more layer to this, though, and it has to do with something your cat has been doing this entire time without you ever realizing it: watching you. For a long time, a lot of people assumed cats were too independent to really pay attention to their owners the way dogs do. Dogs learn from us. Cats just exist nearby, right? That assumption doesn't hold up well anymore. Research into cat behaviour has found that cats do engage in a form of social learning. They observe patterns around them, including patterns involving their owners, and their behaviour adjusts based on what they see. So when your cat watches you sit in the same spot every single day relaxing, watching TV, scrolling your phone, unwinding after work, they're not tuning that out. They may be learning that your seat is a place where good things happen. You relax there, you spend time there. Your energy tends to settle when you're in it, and your cat notices. This is sometimes called social modelling. Your cat sees where you feel comfortable, and because they trust you, there's a reasonable chance they're drawing a simple conclusion. If this spot works for you, it probably works for me too. This also lines up with something a lot of cat owners already notice without having a name for it. Cats can be sensitive to the emotional atmosphere around them, and changes in household stress or routine can affect their behaviour. Cats are paying attention, constantly, even when it doesn't look like it. And that seat you keep returning to has quietly become part of the pattern they're tracking. Speaking of patterns, this next one is the part that genuinely surprises most people. Because your cat might know you're about to get up before you do. Have you ever noticed your cat start moving toward your seat before you've even stood up? Like they somehow knew it was coming? You're not imagining that. And no, your cat isn't psychic, but they might be doing something almost as impressive. Cats are excellent at picking up on small, repeated patterns. They spend an enormous amount of time simply observing you. And over months or years of living in the same space together, they start to notice tiny cues you don't even know you're giving off. The way you shift your weight in the seat right before standing. The specific sound your phone makes when you set it down on the arm of the couch. The little sigh you let out before getting up to grab a glass of water. To you, these are meaningless. You don't even register doing them. To your cat, they've become a countdown. Animal behaviour researchers who study cognition in cats have found that they're remarkably good at predicting routines based on small environmental cues, sounds, movements, timing. Your cat doesn't need to understand why you're about to stand up. They just need to recognise the signal that usually comes right before it. And after seeing that signal thousands of times, they've gotten very good at reading it. This kind of pattern tracking isn't limited to your seat. Either, cats do this with feeding times, with the sound of a specific car pulling into the driveway, with the particular way a closet door creaks before a walk or a vet trip. Once you notice it in one context, you start noticing it everywhere. Your cat has probably been quietly mapping your entire daily rhythm for a lot longer than you'd guess. So when your cat appears out of nowhere the instant you stand up and claims your spot within seconds, that's not luck. It's not them getting one over on you. They've simply learned your pattern quietly, patiently, over a very long time, better than almost anyone else in your life ever has. And that brings us to the real reason any of this matters at all. So why should any of this change how you feel about your cat stealing your seat? Because cats are not like dogs when it comes to handing out affection. They don't warm up to everyone. They don't trust easily. And they don't choose their resting spots carelessly. In the wild, where a cat chooses to rest and who they rest near actually matters for their safety. Cats are naturally cautious about where they settle down and who they feel comfortable enough to be vulnerable around, because sleep and rest leave them exposed. That instinct doesn't disappear just because your cat lives indoors and has a full food bowl. It's still in there. Which is exactly why it means something when your cat walks past every other seat in the house, ignores the cat bed you bought them, skips the sunny windowsill and picks your spot specifically. That seat carries your scent, your warmth, your presence. It's the place that smells like safety to them, the place that feels, as closely as anything can, like being near you even when you're not physically in the room. And when your cat curls up there, they're communicating something they don't have the words for. Something closer to, I trust you, I feel safe because of you, and when you're not here, this is as close as I can get to being with you anyway. That's not just a cat being a cat, that's a quiet, unspoken kind of love, and honestly, it might be one of the most sincere compliments your cat is capable of giving you. It also helps to think about this from your cat's side of the equation for a moment. A cat living in your home has options everywhere. Soft beds bought specifically for them. Blankets, cushions, sunny corners that nobody else is competing for. From a pure comfort standpoint, none of those choices would cost them anything. No waiting, no timing, no hovering near a doorway until you happen to get up. And yet, over and over, your seat wins anyway. That's really the detail worth paying attention to. It's not that your cat has nowhere else to go. It's that, out of every option available to them, they keep circling back to the one place that's connected to you specifically. If comfort alone explained it, the behaviour would be scattered: a bit of this bed, a bit of that windowsill, whatever's warmest that day. Instead, it's consistent, it's targeted, it's you, over and over again. And this is where it's worth remembering something cats are often unfairly accused of not having: consistency in affection. People love to joke that cats are indifferent, that they tolerate you at best, but indifference doesn't produce a pattern like this. An animal that truly didn't care where it rested wouldn't reliably choose the one spot saturated in a single person's presence: routine. And warmth, day after day, for years. Consistency like that takes noticing, it takes remembering. And in a cat, both of those things tend to be reserved for whoever they've decided is safe. So next time your cat steals your seat the second you stand up, you probably won't see it as annoying anymore. You'll see it for what it actually is: scent, warmth, routine, trust, and a little bit of quiet observation, all wrapped into one small familiar habit. And maybe that changes how you react the next time it happens. Instead of nudging them off or sighing about losing your spot again, you might just let them have it for a while, knowing what it actually means. There are plenty of other seats in the house for you. There's only one that smells like you, sounds like your routine, and holds on to your warmth, and out of every single place your cat could choose to rest, they keep choosing that one. If this changed the way you think about your cat, let us know in the comments. And if you want more videos like this, breaking down what your cat's little habits actually mean, make sure you're subscribed. Because there's a lot more where this came from.